What's up, everybody? Welcome to Longevity Physique's YouTube channel. So today what I want to chat about with you guys is why high ticket closing does not work in fitness. And you guys have probably been taught something totally different, honestly. There are a lot of business coaches out there for fitness, and I think that they're teaching you guys sales wrong. I think that there used to be a little bit of a strategy that you could act like a high ticket closer closing fitness. But I don't think that it works anymore because there has been too many bridges that have been burnt. So I'm going to teach you guys a more ethical approach, essentially, to selling fitness, and an approach that's going to help you make more money in the long term. You know, maybe a high ticket closing approach can help you close deals initially, but I promise that it will burn you if you continue to do this strategy long term. It will give you refunds. It'll give you shitty clients. It will give you bad referrals. Things that you don't want in your business. And the reason why is they feel forced and they don't convert well long term. Most coaches are taught high ticket closing, scripts, objection handling, and pressure and urgency. Urgency is something that I hear talked about literally all the time in sales. And I don't necessarily think that any of these tactics, these scare tactics, are positive when it comes to fitness sales. It feels forced as hell. You don't want somebody who is supposed to trust you to feel forced to do anything. The reason it doesn't convert well long term is because, yes, maybe it'll help you make a sale, but it's not going to help you with client retention. It's not going to help you with actually coaching the client. It's not going to help you get positive referrals if they feel forced. So the reality is, this works for courses, agencies, and info products. What do all these have in common? A lot of these have in common, you're going to make your money back in a lot of circumstances. Courses, you may never have to speak to the person again. So it's not a coaching role. They don't have to trust you. They just have to buy the product. Agencies, you're probably going to be working with somebody totally different. Again, they don't necessarily need to trust you. They just need to trust the product or what the service is from the agency is going to work. And in this circumstance, I don't think that that's a positive thing for fitness. It does not work for fitness coaching, okay? High ticket sales and pressuring someone to buy something in fitness typically turns into a refund or a bad referral or a client that isn't fun to work with. And as a coach, as someone who is still in the coaching industry and has made over $1 million in the coaching industry and has worked with over 600 clients, I will tell you right now that you are selling trust and a transformation. You're not selling a product. If they don't trust you, they're not going to buy anything from you because why would they? Coaching is built on trust between the coach and the client and communication. If you are selling right now your coaching package for a decently high price, they could go get a program, and I'm saying this as someone who actively fitness coaches, they could go get a program from ChatGPT. They could go get a program from online. They're not buying your $2,000 coaching package if they don't trust you, okay? So you are starting a relationship. You're not closing a deal. Every person that signs on with you as a fitness coach, especially if it's just one person, if you're just like running your own little solopreneur business, you're not just closing a deal, okay? You are building and forming a relationship with a client who you have full intention of helping for an extended period of time. So I don't necessarily think that pushing somebody or trying to handle every objection is necessarily going to be a positive thing for you in the long term. Okay? Prospects are already skeptical. They've already been burned. They've already failed programs. They've already tried diets. Okay? So if you pressure these people, it's going to cause resistance no matter what. And even if you push them through the close, this is not going to be a positive outcome. Because if you push someone through a close in fitness and then they sign a year-long contract, what is going to happen if they decide in 2 months that they regret signing that contract? They're not only going to want to cancel the contract and leave and probably fuck you, and they're also going to talk negatively about the entire experience just based off of the onboarding aspect because they were pushed into the close. Okay? So the more that you push the more they're going to pull away, inevitably. Okay? So pressure creates bad clients, like I just mentioned. If they buy for pressure, there's gonna be low commitment because they didn't want to commit in the first place, okay? So you want people who actually want to work with you. You don't want people in your business representing your coaching who don't wanna be there, okay? Again, high dropout risk and refund risk. So both of these are essentially the same thing, okay? So you don't wanna sign someone for a 12-month contract and be like, oh, this is lovely, this is great. Because you force them into your program, they're going to drop out or they're going to ask for a refund or both, okay? If you push them in, they're not going to want to stay. So the solution to the opposition of the high ticket closing approach is actually consulting, okay? Like not trying to go for the close, but actually legitimately consulting with these people. So stop selling your program and start diagnosing what the problem is that you can solve, okay? So a consulting framework would look like actually understanding what are they struggling with, what have they tried in the past, okay? If they've tried something exactly the same as what you offer in the past, I would think twice before telling them something different. Okay, you need to be incredibly honest and upfront with anybody who signs on in fitness. And again, like I would just make sure that you never, ever, ever overpromise when making a fitness sale. You always want to underpromise. You always want to overdeliver, especially in this circumstance when somebody's trusting you with so much of their life. You have to realize as a fitness coach, you are controlling so many variables of somebody's life that the trust, like I said in the beginning, is one of the most important aspects of the whole thing. Okay? So identify what the actual issue is. What is holding them back? And dig deep on this. Like, why have they not achieved this yet? If you don't actually think that you can fix their problem, hang up the call. Do not try to sell somebody something in fitness that is not going to work. I'm telling you right now that I've done this in the beginning of my coaching journey and it bites you in the ass every time. They're going to either leave or they're going to tell everybody that you are a shit coach, which probably isn't the case. If you offer an excellent service and somebody else doesn't fulfill on their behalf, that's on you, and now you're a shit coach in the public eye. So you don't want to close deals that shouldn't be closed. You want to close deals when people want to be closed, okay? So show the gap, where they want to be, why they're stuck, and where they currently are, okay? So if someone wants to lose body fat, this is where they are right now. They want to lose body fat. Where they want to be, okay, I want abs, all right? Why are they stuck? Is it a commitment issue? Is it a discipline issue? Is it a knowledge issue? Identify exactly what it is and then lead with that. Because if it's an education issue, as a coach, I'm a coach and I can teach and inform my clients, and I'll outright say on the call, I don't want you to have to do this for the rest of your life. I want to do this for a 3-month term or a 6-month term or a 12-month term, and teach you how to fix this yourself after I handle the beginning stage for you, okay? And then you want to guide them. You want to present your solution naturally. You want to act as if it's the next logical step, because in the circumstance that you have a good quality lead on the other end of the phone, this is the next logical step. If somebody actually fits your service, you don't need to sell them. You need to just inform them that this is the next logical solution and build the trust around the fact that you legitimately can help them, okay? So the old way of doing this, and I did this at the very beginning because I do believe that this has changed over the last, say, 5 years. I've been in the coaching industry for about 6 or 7 years now. And yes, you could take more of an high ticket closer approach back then, okay? Because people haven't been burnt yet. People were skeptical of the whole coaching industry anyways. Now you need to realize that people understand that there are good coaches and there are shit coaches, And as soon as you look like you are trying to force somebody to do something in the fitness industry now, or trying to get money from someone without actually providing an excellent solution to them, they're going to see you as more of a closer than a coach. Okay. Like they're going to see you as someone who's operating a business, but doesn't actually know what they're doing in fitness, if that is where the conversation leads. Okay. So you want to stay on the topic of helping them. Okay. You don't want to rush a close. You don't want to objection handle up their ass. You want to be real and authentic and truly consult with the person and actually try to help them. Okay. So the result of this is going to be better clients, easier calls because they're way more natural, higher retention, and more referrals. Because again, this all is a psychological process, and you need to understand that. It's not about getting a close. It's about having amazing client retention, providing amazing results to the clients that you bring on. And that won't happen if you force people into your package or your program, okay? So you need, if you're struggling with your closing right now, I suspect that there is a huge variable of lead quality, but I also, if you guys aren't retaining clients, then there is a huge problem with your closing process and you're not qualifying your leads well enough. And then you're trying to force them into your program. Okay, so it normally does come down to, like I said, a lead quality issue. And if you have good quality leads, whether they're coming from ads or whether they're coming from your organic or whatever it is, if you have good quality leads, you don't need to have a detailed objection handling script, for example. What you need are questions to ask the client, and then you can qualify them yourself on the call and be like, okay, I think I can legitimately help you. This is how we can move forward. And it's as simple as that. If you start handling objections, and pressuring them into doing this, like they're going to run away. And if you convince them to buy something, they're going to have a negative impact long-term on your business. So I would completely suggest not doing that. Good sales feels like clarity, not pressure. And, if you're in a different industry and you just want to close deals, if you're a closer, go ahead. I don't care. Close as many deals as you want and do whatever you want. But if you are a fitness coach closing your own deals, this should feel like clarity and this should feel like help. And the client should be excited about starting. They shouldn't be fearful. Okay. So that's kind of my rant for the day. And if you guys want to close sales ethically and actually have good client retention, this is the way to do it. You can drop a comment, calls if you want help on this in more detail. Like I said, my name is Brent Chavishall. I am the founder of Longevity Physique Group, and I've done over $1 million in fitness sales, and I've coached over 600 people at this point. And now I have a team of roughly 10 people working for me. So I have been fairly successful in this industry. And if you guys want my help, comment, calls, and we can chat.